Alrighty, one last knife. This big old chef's knife. Handle could really use some work. Could actually use some sanding. Very oxidized rivets. Could use some oil. I think what I'm going to do here is see about doing a little bit of so this is a 6-ply 220 radial disc on a Dremel. That'll get you there if you don't have jewelry buffers. Fordham tools also work great for this. I have a Fordham tool right here. This particular one is controlled by a foot pedal. I think I'm going to sand this one though.
People died. Someone died on the Parkway in Morningside Avenue from a fallen tree.
On Morningside Lane, you mean?
Morningside Lane and the Parkway, yeah.
Oh.
Right there. So that road's all closed. Fort Hunt is closed.
Where'd you get to?
I had to take the long way around. I tried Walgreens for milk. They were out. The little Safeway is closed. The big Safeway must be on a generator, so they have no lights, but all their fridge and freezer is working.
Oh, you got it though.
I got it, but it's chaos.
This Zwillings chef's knife started to delaminate. Up here you can see it's coming off. I sanded it down. It's missing a little section up here too. This is a place where I like to use Starbond. These are like crazy glues, but this is really fantastic stuff. It comes in different viscosities. You can see right here, this is the thin. And I love these little tiny additional tips they give you so you can really get it into difficult spots, because I need to get it all in there and kind of fill that in. But these actually sand really nice and buff nice finish. So you can use this to fix wood that's starting to delaminate and just, you know, is kind of starting to get near the end of its life. I've had a lot of repair, a lot of success doing handle repairs with this stuff right here. And then the other thing I love about it that I never thought I would use, but I find myself using all the time, is this right here. This is accelerator, and it contains like acetone in it, and it will make the glue dry almost instantaneously. You don't always need it, but a lot of times you do. And I do recommend, if you're going to use the thin, which I'm using today, it's not bad to use gloves, because you just never know where it's going to go, and you don't want to glue yourself to yourself, if you know that movie line. But that happens. Do you see the penetration that's getting in there? I mean, it's going like right into that wood, which is not bad for it at all. You can see it penetrating like straight down through there. Now I'll show you what the accelerator does. You can just give it a quick. The other reason why you might want gloves on, it will get hot when you apply accelerator. You will feel a chemical reaction. That's already hardened. Okay? But I'll be able to sand all that, and that will harden in there real nice. And that's going to keep that delaminated piece from coming off. And if it's really bad, you could, and I'll show you this. Why don't we do it? We'll touch the whole thing. You literally could go over the entire thing. With the SA glue, or is it CA? It's CA, right? Cyanacrylate? I always forget if it's CA or SA. I think it's CA. But see how it's just penetrating the wood? That's fine. We're just going to let it do that. We're going to rub it all around, get a nice even. And then what we'll do is we'll resand the whole thing. Just be careful not to touch the blade, or you'll be having to get glue off of there later. Just going to let all that penetrate. So this high viscosity one is really easy to work with when you got to get it all over something, you know, like this, like a handle that we're trying to save the wood. So now I'm going to spray it up with accelerator now that we got our penetration. So after you've flooded your handle with CA glue, I like the Starbond, then you can let it dry, and then you're going to sand it. I like to use about 400 grit. And don't get panicked when you first start sanding it. It's going to get very white and light in color, as you can see there. But don't worry about that. Just make sure you're going on a nice, even pattern, and just sand right over top of your Starbond. You can go right over it. It's going to work out very much like if you've worked with epoxies, very similar. Which are, epoxies are basically glues also. Okay, so we're going to get in here and we're going to just give this a nice, even sanding across the surface. Look for any lumps or weird spots. And here's where, if you have jewelry buffers, these are a really nice addition. Not absolutely necessary, but I'll show you what a great job they do. Okay, so I got a little bit uneven spots in here. Just want to make sure I get any odd looking lumps and strange stuff off of that final finish there. You can see that's just everything coming off of there. Now in the curved parts, sometimes I find it's best to use your finger. If you really got to get in there, not bad to just get in there with your finger. Give it a little contour. But yeah, that looks pretty good to me. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit it on my radial disc. I'm going to start with this 400. I don't need to go real low. I don't want to remove a bunch of material. I just want to start the polishing process of this up. And you'll see how quickly, and I'm very lightly touching this. That's it. Very, very light. You already see it's already starting to look kind of a matte finish now. So we went from really rough and dusty looking from the sanding to this 400 is going to kind of give us a matte finish. It is okay to go both directions. Just make sure you finish in the direction of the grain. But it will give you a shinier and smoother and clearer finish if you go both directions. I just always like to finish in the direction of the grain of the wood. That always looks better to me. Okay, now we're gonna go to the 1 micron, and it's really gonna start to get a beautiful shiny finish on here at the 1 micron. And then the final step will literally make it look like a highly polished wood piece of furniture or floor. So getting in here at the 1 micron. And like I said, don't push hard. None of this requires hard pushing. If you wanted a kind of a satiny matte finish, you could just leave it at this. If you want it a little more shiny, then you can do the final step that I'll show you here. But this will help this be waterproof. It will help it not continue to rot and just fall apart, and give it a whole new lease on life. Just gonna hit a couple spots with my handheld drill. Sometimes it's easier to hit some spots with a rotary tool. Or sometimes you might have a little low spot, like this one was missing. On the one side it had a couple slivers of wood missing. We filled them in with the CA glue. Now we're just smoothing that whole surface off before we do that final polishing. You can already see it's a huge improvement from that dried out delaminating handle that came in here. Now here's the magic part. At the end is to use wood or plastic polish. I have 2 that I like. The pink bar, I believe this is from Combat Abrasives. It's for wood and plastic. I usually start with that one, and then I use my cream colored bar that's also for plastics and wood. This always blows my mind when you see this just literally start to turn to what looks like glass, or even like a plastic handle. Someone might touch this and think, oh, it's plastic that looks like wood, but it's actually wood that's just been highly polished, and in this situation been treated with a CA glue. You guys see that luster starting to come out? Alright, now I'm going to go to my other. Now this is a medium buff here. If you want it even shinier, you could go to a fine buff, which is usually like a white cotton, and get even more out of it. Looking beautiful, right? We haven't even cleaned it yet. This is a fine buff here. We could still use a little polish on it, it's fine. Wow, and that just feels so much nicer than it felt before with all that dried out wood. Just beautiful looking. And that's what we do to restore a handle that's starting to delaminate, and hold it together and get a lot more use out of it. On this side, you can see a few of the ridges, but they're beautifully smooth. There's no splinters anymore. It's not going to grab anybody. And actually, once I clean this a little bit, because there's still some polish spots on it, it's going to look absolutely perfect. There you go. It's all done. Look how great that looks.